the Imperial City waterway has a big problem. And no, it's not just the textures you get when you're loading into the game or the FPS, but it's that you can't get any boats here. Now, obviously, they have boats here, but they must have been built here. And I'll show you why. First off, this really isn't the best place to put your boat, especially if you're going to try and turn it around like this. I'm not a boat driver, and I don't think I ever will be, but this doesn't look ideal. I think you would probably want more space, especially if you're going to have a boat such as this one. Now, the second problem is that you can't really fit a ton of boats here. Maybe you could fit 2 if you're lucky here, but you would probably want maybe 3, even 4 in this area, but you can't really get that many. Maybe over there, but the dock's over here. Bigger problem here, because you have this big, ugly dock or pier, whatever it's called, and this completely blocks another large ship from getting in here, unless it wants to hit this and sink. The other problem is the depth. This would not work. Even with this boat, this would completely run aground. And you don't really want that when you're driving a ship. While it does get deeper in other parts, for instance here, this would be completely fine, I think. Maybe unless you had a submarine or some sort of large modern cargo ship. But we don't really have cargo ships in the Elder Scrolls, thankfully. Now, the other problem, you can't really see here, but trust me, it's a very large and inexcusable problem. This is the site of a murder. The mangled corpse of what could have been a pretty cool area of the game. This is Leowin. It's the only access that the Imperial City has to the ocean, except for maybe here, but I don't think this leads to the ocean. Now, it doesn't look horrible on the map. Maybe a ship could go through there, but this is what it looks like in person. Completely impossible for a ship to get to the ocean. You want to take your giant bloated float here? I can basically stand. Well, I can stand on the bottom. This is not what you want to bring a boat through unless it's a kayak or canoe. I don't really know the difference. No, look, this is perfect. This is completely perfect for a boat to go through. This would be fine. But they ruined it. It was even supposed to have a bridge in the concept art. I'll throw a picture of that up if I can find it. But it's completely ruined, destroyed, and murdered. I haven't checked, but I do believe it was still a problem in the original Oblivion. It's not a fault of the remaster. But it's just a horrible, horrible thing. And it leads to bad continuations of the story. That bloated float we talked about earlier, it ends up in the ocean, open ocean, somewhere around there. But how did it get out there? It's not like the boats can fly. But this leads to another problem. Where does the Imperial City get its imports, like food, clothing, weapons, and armor, if not from the ocean? Because, as you already saw, there can't be any boats that come from the ocean. Now, I was thinking of this, and that what kind of gave me the idea for this video. And as far as I know, I don't think it does get any imports, or anything, really. So here I am at one of the biggest farms in the game, or possibly the biggest farms in the game, the Odil Farm. You might remember it for the quest to get Chillrend. But there's a pretty big problem with this farm. There isn't any imports going out of here, or exports, I guess you would call them. So if this farm doesn't export anything, where would the Imperial City get all its wares? Because similarly to this farm, I'm pretty sure nowhere else sends wagons, boats, or some sort of transportation of food or other wares to the Imperial City. Now, of course, I could pick all these watermelons and like radishes and carrots and tomatoes and bring them to the Imperial City, but are they really relying on me to do that? The 1 in 100 chance I actually care enough to do that? Well, hopefully not. So, in my search for a farm or any sort of imports into the Imperial City, I found this guy.
Have a copy of the Black Horse Courier. It's the only way to get the real news. Feature story.
So this guy is talking about the Black Horse
Can't
Courier.
believe it's over. That giant
So-
demon. The dragon. What happened?
Maybe that's how they get their food.
won.
They get the Black Horse Courier. But I'm pretty much 100% sure that's only for newspapers or things like that. But here in the Imperial Waterfront also, there is no farms at all. And I'm pretty sure this would be just about the only place for a farm to be. I don't think there's anywhere else in the city that could have a farm. So here is, I think, the closest settlement to
I've heard
the
others say the
Imperial
same.
City. But once again, no
I understand
farm.
Daedra worship is becoming increasingly
There
prevalent in the
is
Somerset Isle.
absolutely nothing here
It
that would
seems
grow
Somerset Isle has
agriculture.
become a much more
Possibly it's a
dangerous
foraging
place.
town, but I
day.
find that unlikely.
Farewell.
So once again, no imports of food into the Imperial City, at least not from here. Now, I'm not sure of any other towns. You can tell me if there is any towns that do have farms, but I don't think there is any farms nearby. So how does the Imperial City get its food? And possibly they get it from the river. So fishing is not really a big part of Oblivion. I don't think ever has been. And it was first introduced, I believe, in Skyrim. So how would they fish? Well, it doesn't really matter on the mechanics. It's whether or not it's realistic they would be able to do it. And yeah, it is. If I go ahead and dive into the water, you can see this is a pretty good habitat for fish. They have rocks and plants to hide in. There's one there. And these are pretty big fish. But you never see anyone fishing, and I don't think there's any fish being sold, so that isn't the answer. I haven't found any evidence of using any form of livestock or any food generation inside of the city. So maybe they are manifesting their food, or maybe they don't eat. Or maybe there just isn't really a demand for food. Who knows? You can't find food anywhere in the Imperial City anyways, except you can. So here I am reporting from the Imperial City Market District. I'm here because of a little place called the Feed Bag. Now, this place here doesn't seem special at all, except they have food, beer and wine, meats even, corn.
Greetings.
This guy,
Have a look around.
he sells
You won't
so
find
much.
better prices in all Tamriel.
This guy sells a lot of food as well. Some pretty expensive things and somewhat luxury as well, such as grapes, pumpkins, and even watermelons. But once again, absolutely no evidence of him getting this stuff imported. Now I can ask him about rumors. but-
Everyone wants to know what really happened in the temple. What happened to Martin? Was the fiery dragon really Akatosh?
But he won't tell me where he gets his stuff. Even
Certainly.
if I persuade him, all the way up to 90, nothing.
Bye.
Now, is this evidence of underground Imperial City watermelon tunnels? Maybe, but I wouldn't really go that far. But could this just be bad game design? Yeah, and that's the most likely option. But maybe it's intentional. Maybe this is meant to represent the world is fake and you don't actually live in it. But I prefer the option that they just don't need to eat and this is like plastic. Something that kind of proves they aren't really going hungry is that you can find food in the garbage. Now, this isn't exactly stated to be garbage, but it pretty much is. Now you can find
All
other
hail
things.
the champion of Cyrodiil.
Now you can find other things in here like tongs, pickaxes,
Good day.
even 58 things of skooma if you're lucky. But you don't really find anything valuable like gold or armor. So it's pretty safe to say that this is just garbage. Now another option is that a more port-friendly area like Anvil is getting all the goods at their dock and then selling them at a higher
over
price.
Mehrunes Dagon.
Shut up.
What's going on with you?
And
hear there
selling
were
them
some
at a
goblins
higher
over here
price
recently.
back to the Imperial City
Creatures.
or the other cities. Now this is a lot more likely, but most of the ships that are here I don't think are trade ships. This one doesn't really sound trade shippy. I'm not sure the exact lore, but these seem a lot more like just personal ships or pirate ships. This one you can even enter, and it's possible that it's a cargo ship, but the ghosts that you find in it do have pirate attire, so it's maybe not. But of course, cargo ships do keep moving and won't always stay in one spot the entire time. And there are businesses here that do have goods that could have been imported, such as Lel's
Hi
clothing
there.
merchandise, the Harborside Warehouse, which would be perfect for the cargo ships to store their goods as it gets sent out. So maybe that is more proof.
Oh, hello.
As a matter of fact, we can actually enter here and see. Gotta make sure no one's looking. It's now nighttime, and we can enter without getting spotted. And it does seem like oh, I hit a pumpkin. It does seem like a place where you would keep imports. We have cloths and shears. We have tons of wooden things, foods, more foods, and these pitchers and clays. We have things like these, which I do believe are supposed to be clams. We have wines, cloths with fancy patterns, I guess you would call them. Upstairs we have even more. We have apples, repair hammers, spoons, gold cups. We have meal here. Looks like someone was eating. So it seems like a lived-in area, possibly a squatter lives in here. Now this is pretty good evidence, but also at the same time, you never see anyone bringing horses here or bringing wagons here to load them up.
Well, here's a fine one. Speak freely.
So as that concludes, it's possible that the Imperial City just magically makes its food out of spells and homeless people, or it possibly gets imported here and then eventually by wagon or on foot goes over to the Imperial City. I may be posting more Oblivion remasters as well as an Oompa tutorial remaster, but no promises on that. I'm not really good with those. If you enjoyed this talking and more Annie Austin inspired content, then liking and subscribing to my channel will help me quite a lot. And if I sound weird for any reason, it is because I am weird and I'm sick. But hopefully you can look past that and enjoy this definitely not a rip-off of any video. Anyways, I won't leave you sitting here any longer, and just, I guess, enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, dusk, dawn, midday, or afternoon, and lunch, dinner, breakfast. Anyways, goodbye, and see you later.